You could hire a private fiduciary. Retired nurses are wonderful. Their case managers are great.
For doing what?
To be your agent for your advanced healthcare directive. Okay? And how many agents would you name?
Well, again, if you have multiple agents, they're supposed to act unanimously, so that's difficult.
This is not a time for democracy.
This is a real emotional decision. A lot of people don't even name their kids because they think that the kids are too attached to them and they would never follow their wishes, you know? If the parents don't want to be kept alive artificially, they're afraid that the children won't go along with that. So,
well, you got to look them in the eye and say, can you do this? And even between spouses, you got to look your spouse in the eye and say, can you do this for me? You know? It's really hard. My mother was the worst.
You also have to bear in mind, this is the attorney side coming in here, there is obviously a built-in conflict of interest there, right? If you name your children or your child as the person that's going to pull the plug,
Pull it.
and they're the ones that are going to inherit your estate, okay? A lot of people are worried about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially last year, 2010, you know, no tax.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, the DNR thing, you know, there's,
DNR is completely different.
yeah, there's people that...
Does everybody know what DNR means? Do not resuscitate. Okay? If you are living at home and you want a DNR, please talk to the local fire department and complete the DNR form. Else, their paramedics are obligated to give you CPR and try to revive you.
The DNR form, we have a slide on it, but that has to be signed by a doctor.
Yeah, but there's a high percentage of people that change their mind about DN and DNR.
Yeah, but DNRs are usually only done in the last stages of life. Nobody does a DNR today, okay? It's just in the very last stages of life. A brand new form, and it's POLST, and that is have you used this at all?
No.
Yeah, it's brand new, and it's just for physicians. You sit down with your physician and you fill it out in ahead of time with your physician and telling him what you want or her what you want. And the thing of it is that, in my opinion and in my experience, you want to, if you trust your agent, then you want to give the agent flexibility. You try to let them know your values and your interest. Hey, life is not worth living if I can't communicate and I can't get out of bed. Other people would say, as long as I can turn the TV on, life is good, keep me alive. Okay? It doesn't matter what it is, but that's, you got to kind of communicate what your values and what your interests are. So, and you've got to give the agent flexibility. No one knows how we're going to die and under what circumstances, or how long we're going to be in a state of incapacity. The good news is, I always love to ask doctors this question, and that is, what is a normal death? Because we're all going to die, so what is a normal death? And it's amazing how few doctors can answer that question. But what I have been able to find out and determine, dying in your sleep is normal, okay? But who can make money from that? You're not scared? That's kind of calming, isn't it? Who's going to make money from that? Nobody. So,
Your head.
huh?
Your head.
Yeah, well, that's the normal methodology of death. Is that we stay conscious and awake and active, and we go to sleep and we do not wake up. That is the normal way. Okay?
when you execute a power of attorney for healthcare or an advanced healthcare directive, it's a little bit different than any other document because number one, it's got to be notarized or witnessed like the other power of attorney for finances. But there's some people who can't be witnesses on this thing. You can't have your doctor be the witness. You can't have an employee of the hospital or the doctor's office or the skilled nursing facility be a witness. And if you are in a skilled nursing facility, when you sign this document, there must be an extra witness, the ombudsman. You guys know what an ombudsman is? Okay. Ombudsman is somebody appointed by the state as the advocate for the patients or the residents of a skilled nursing facility. So when an advanced healthcare directive is signed in one of those facilities, the ombudsman must be notified, and he or she must witness the advanced healthcare directive, in addition to having it notarized or witnessed by two other people. Once you have this thing signed, I recommend that you register it with the Secretary of State. It's $10. You fax it over to them, and they keep it in their files. And that way, if you're in an accident and you're not carrying around your document with you, your doctors of the hospital can find a little card that the Secretary of State gives you when you register this document, and then the hospital can access it online.
Is this a document just like the durable power of attorney that you keep secret? No, not this one, the advanced healthcare directive.
The healthcare directive.
The healthcare directive.
Yes, you register with the
No, I
Secretary of
meant
State.
as far as do you not,
Oh,
do you keep it secret?
no. You want to give your healthcare directive to your agent. Okay?
You want to give it to the
You want to
hospital.
give it to the doctors. You want to give it to the hospital.
You want to put one in your glove compartment.
Yeah, but if you don't have it on you and something happens and there's an emergency, if it's registered with the California Secretary of State, then whatever emergency room you happen to be in, they can get a copy of it, and then they can call the agent that you named.
Do all states have this? I mean, California?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah. There's also a company called DocuBank, and they do sort of the same thing, but they do it with all kinds of documents other than the healthcare directive. They'll do it with the power of attorney and trust and everything.
But I think just let your agent, make sure your agent has a copy and they have one with them. They keep it with them. So when they get called, that's why we went on agents for the Advanced Healthcare Directive. You fill in their name, address, fax number, email, cell phone number, all these numbers. And you go to, 3 to 5 people is, it's not a bad
I
idea.
gotta tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten calls from people. My mom's in the hospital. I know you were her lawyer. Do you have a copy of the healthcare directive? Because I can't find it. Okay? Very, very common. Okay? So make it easy for them to find it.
Yeah, this is the one to photocopy it off and make sure that all your agents have copies, the doctor's office has copies. It's easy to find in your house if somebody needs one. This is not a copy to keep secret.
Now there's another thing. Aside from the healthcare directive, California allows for hospital surrogates, which it sort of overrides the healthcare directive. So that if you have to go in to the hospital or to see a doctor, you can name somebody as your medical surrogate. Now, it's only a temporary thing. It's only good for one hospital stay at a time of no more than 60 days. Okay? But this would be useful maybe if the person that you did name in your healthcare directive lived in another state, another country. Sometimes that's unavoidable. And you need a temporary person that's going to be able to deal with the doctors.
And so long as you can communicate with your primary care physician, you are in charge. This Advanced Healthcare Directive only comes into being when you can't communicate your wishes.
Right. Very good. Very, very important. Yeah, as long as you can talk, you're the boss, as far as the healthcare is.
Or you can shake your head, yes, no, if the doctor, if you can communicate with the doctor, you're in charge. What I usually tell people if they're in a situation where they want a DNR, I train everybody around the individual not to call 911, not to take them to the emergency room. Okay, usually the situation is that the person is under hospice care and we call the doctor or the registered nurse under doctor's care, and if the person is in an uncomfortable state, they immediately give them morphine. Morphine is wonderful. It reduces pain. There should never be any pain whatsoever. Okay? There is no reason for pain. And if there is pain, then there's something wrong. And you got to get to the bottom of that very quickly, because pain is not normal. My dad had rheumatoid arthritis. And rheumatoid arthritis, you live with an immense amount of pain all the time. And so it was difficult to get him to communicate, say, are you feeling the rheumatoid arthritis pain, or are you having pain from the surgery, So, and plus he had an immense tolerance to drugs. It was a very difficult situation to handle. So get to know your agent. Have that bottle of wine, you need it. and have that documents done. I think, Brian, this is the most important session because it deals with incapacity. What do you think is the number one reason to have a living trust? So, from my point of view, the most important reason to have a living trust is because of incapacity, because you get to pick the person who takes care of you. And one of the first questions somebody asked was, how is a trust different than a conservatorship?
It's not court supervised, it's private.
Yeah. So that individual that you name as your successor trustee is your conservator of the estate, is your conservator of the person. That they have the checkbook power. They tell you what to eat. They tell you where to live.
And the court doesn't have any.
And the court has nothing to do with it. So from my point of view, a number one reason to have a living trust is because you get to pick the person who's going to be taking care of you in the event of your incapacity. Thank you, Brian. You're wonderful.
What do you do?